Hey guys, my name is Silas and this is my channel for integral bodywork. In this video I want to go a little bit off topic, but just a tiny bit, and I want to talk about something that is extremely important to your ILP, to your integral life practice. So as I said before, integral bodywork is just one module of 4 of the ILP. And I want to talk about one other module, and that would be the shadow module. So what is the shadow? Shadow was first defined by Carl Gustav Jung, and it makes up all of your suppressed or unconscious parts of your personality. So that might be your suppressed emotions, but it also can be suppressed personality traits like your greed or anything that's not okay, your sexual desire for coworkers and stuff like that. So anything that you're uncomfortable with, that is not part of your persona, of your personality that you identify with. The shadow is so important because if you don't work with it, it's going to undermine all of the other efforts that you make in ILP, because every shadow you have is a blind spot on the map of your personality. And that's why today I want to talk about this in some detail. Alright, so let's look at how the shadow works. Let's say you have all kinds of emotions and all kinds of parts of your personality, and some of them fit with your persona and some of them don't, because usually you have 2 parts that are contradictory and one you like and one you don't. So what happens usually is that you identify with this part of your personality and you disidentify with this part, because having both of them in your consciousness for at the same time is really exhausting. So you take this part and you suppress it. You suppress it into the unconscious, you disown it, and it's no longer part of yourself. Yourself is your persona, so the stuff that you can like about yourself or your self-image, and your shadow is everything that you disown about your personality. So when you suppress a part of yourself, it's still there, but you don't realize that it's there. So it still has some kind of effect on you and what you're doing, but you don't know where this effect is coming from. So you think it's coming from the outside usually. So let me give you an example from my own past. I used to have a huge shadow when it came to aggression. So this was just something that I didn't have. I thought I was never angry. I thought this was just a problem that everyone else has. Everyone gets in fights and I don't. And I didn't know why. I didn't know what the problem was that these people had. So what happened was that sometime in my childhood I learned that being angry is not okay. I don't know why, but this is the message I got, and I pushed down this whole part of myself. So this is not just anger, because aggression is also the force that lets you take what you want in life and push away what you don't want. So I lost the connection with all of that. What happened when I got angry, when someone was unfair to me or something like that, anger came up, but it wasn't conscious because it couldn't be me that's getting angry. I never get angry, so it must be someone else. So somebody's angry, it's not me. Who's angry? And I always found someone to be afraid of at that moment, and I made myself as small as possible and slipped out of the situation. So this is what we call a projection, and I'm gonna go into that in a second. First, let me give you another way to look at the shadow and to see how it can sabotage all kinds of small and big situations in your day-to-day life. We usually take an analogy from physics for this. So imagine a physical body that's not moving, and there are 2 possibilities how this works. So either there is no force on the body and it's just standing still, or there are multiple forces on the body and they're canceling each other out. And when you apply this to a psychological situation, you can imagine yourself being in a place where you want 2 different things that are contradictory. So there are 2 forces or even more working on you, but they're canceling each other out. So you're not doing anything. This is when you're standing here and you don't know if you want to, I don't know, go to bed because you're really tired, or if you want to call your girlfriend and have a nice evening with her. So there are 2 forces and it's hard to decide and you're not moving. There's no real problem in this situation. It's stressful, but there's not really a problem because everything is conscious. Now, when you decide that this stress is too much, and usually this happens unconscious, then you disown one of these forces. So when I'm standing here and I'm really tired but I also want to see my girlfriend and I just can't stand the stress, I disown either one. So maybe I disown the part that wants to go to bed, and all I can feel is that I really want to spend time with her. But there's also still this part that doesn't want to. So there's still a part in me working that says, no, I really don't want to see her now because I want to go to bed. So what happened there is that I created a shadow of me not wanting something that I think I want, because all I can feel is that I want it. And so this part will find some way to sabotage this. So it will get in the way somehow. I will maybe call her at the exact time when she's not home, or at the exact time when she just made some plans with other friends, and I don't get what I want. So this is a situation where I'm standing still in the sense of I don't get what I want, but I don't know why. It's probably her fault, I guess. That's how the shadow can sabotage any kinds of situations in your life. All right, so let's talk about projection. Projections are something that some shadows create, others don't, but it's usually a good clue to get to your own shadow. So it's very important. A projection is when I have a shadow working, so it's activated, it's coming up, but it can't be mine because I don't have this quality, so somebody else has to have it, and I project it into the outside world and see it there. You can imagine this as looking at the world through a lens, and there's a smudge on this lens and it gets projected into the outside world. So you actually see it out there, even though it's on your lens, on your unconscious. And you're absolutely certain that it's there, and this creates a symptom emotion in you. So when I project my anger, I see an angry person and I get scared. The fear in this moment is the inauthentic emotion, so the false emotion that's created by the authentic emotion that's unconscious. So the shadow kind of protects itself from being discovered by creating a false emotion, and you deal with the false emotion. So I deal with this person there that's scaring me instead of working with my own anger. So that's how projection works. And for you to understand this a little more, I made a video of a situation where a projection gets created in the moment. Hey bro, I'm gonna clean the kitchen, alright? Alright. Alright, let's do this. Okay, this goes there, and this goes here, and these go over here, and I could go for some coffee actually. Nah, come on. Alright. Hey, what's that? Some cartoons? Who's that? Barbecue? Awesome, I'm in. Alright, I'll bring some beers. What's Trump been up to lately? No way. Really? Again? Come on, dude. Hey bro, how's the kitchen coming along?
Yeah, I'm on it. If you really want to have the kitchen clean, then do it yourself, man.
So what happened here? In the beginning, Jack was just motivated to do the kitchen, so he really wanted to do it and he did it. So if he were a physical body, he'd be moving in one direction. There is one force and it's moving the body. He tells this to Jim. Jim doesn't care one way or the other. Okay, do the kitchen if you want. And he starts out. And suddenly, this simple situation becomes a little more complicated because other motivations start coming up. And this is a stressful situation for him. So what he does is, to solve this, is to suppress this part of the equation. And what happens when Jim comes in is that Jack projects this part of himself on Jim. So suddenly he thinks Jim wants him to do the kitchen. So someone wants me to do the kitchen, it's not me, so it must be that guy. That's the projection. And so what happens is that the symptom emotion that comes up is pressure. So suddenly he feels under pressure and he gets angry. And he gets angry at Jim, who's like, so this is how easily the shadow creates a problem in an otherwise unproblematic situation. And I'm guessing that over 90% of all of your fights and problems that you have with all kinds of people are because of this, because of the projection and because of the shadow, because that's how it was for me actually. And how cool would it be if you could just resolve these problems and actually see the other person for who they are and seeing yourself for who you are. And that's what shadow work is all about and what the shadow module is all about. So you're probably asking yourself now, how do I know if something's a projection or if it's real? Because there are angry people out there and there are people out there who want you to do stuff. So the rule of thumb here is that anything that creates a strong emotional response in you is probably projection. So if I see an angry person and I just don't care because it's just an angry person, there's nothing going on here in myself. But if I feel scared or if it really bothers me, then there's probably projection going on. So the remaining question is, how do you work with the shadow? How do you re-own your shadow? And how do you take back projections? How do you basically make yourself whole again? And that's what I want to talk about in the next video, so stay tuned for that. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Otherwise, I'll see you guys around. Bye.